Good evening and welcome to Livingston Parish Algebra 1 EOC Review. I'm Dr. Blunt from Holden School. I'd like to welcome all our students from all our other schools. Thank you again for tuning in, and also thank you for working so hard on your EOC. In this lesson, we're going to continue working on the Texas STAARS Algebra 1 EOC. We're going to start at question number 16, and we're going to go to question 31. So let's get started. Okay, this painter is charging $35 per hour. We know when we see per, we know that's a rate of change. Okay, plus $40 for our ladder rental. Okay, and so we know that's a linear relationship. Okay, it's y equal to $35 per hour. You could use X if you wanted to, plus $40 to rent that ladder. Okay, the total charge to paint this house was $950. And the question is, how many hours did the painter's been painting? Okay, we'll subtract 40 from both sides. That's 910 equal to 35H. Divide both sides by 35. Okay, so we've got 910 divided by 35. Okay, and the answer is 26. That answer is not there, so we would go J. Okay. The slope and y-intercept of the graph of f were changed to make the graph of g as shown below. Okay, all right. And which statement describes the changes that were made to the graph of f to make the graph of g? Well, first of all, let's get an equation for f. This is f. We can see that the y-intercept was 3. And let's get a rate of change. We know that we start at a corner and we go down till we find another corner. Okay, so that is down 2 to the right 1. So we know this line has a slope of -2. That tells us that f, the equation, was -2x plus 3. Let's look at g now. The y-intercept is -2. And the rate of change is 1, 2, 3 over, let's see, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay? It goes up 1, 2, 3. Okay? So the rate of change is 3 over 1. So that is G. Okay, and if we look at these choices, okay, the slope of f was multiplied by 2. I don't think so. I'm going back and I'm looking at G again. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. I'm thinking the rate of change is 4 on G. It's a little hard to tell on my graph. Maybe you can see it easier on your paper. But I'm thinking that they want the slope of G to be 4. Okay. So the slope of f has not been multiplied by half. It has been multiplied by -2. Because -2 times -2 gives us +4. If we decrease 3 by 5, we go to -2. So the y-intercept was decreased by 5. So the answer would be C. Okay, and we have the population of this town. Okay, and we want to know which of these is true. First of all, if something is increasing at a constant rate, that means it is linear. That means it's increasing or decreasing by the same amount each time. Okay, and so we know that it cannot be f because it's not linear. We can also look at this function and we can tell what's happening here is that 9,000 is a y-intercept, and that's a quadratic equation. We know the graph is going to look like a parabola. Okay. All right. And so we need to figure out, okay, if these are true or not. Okay, it says the population will reach 10,000 between 11 and 12 years from now. That would be easy to check on your calculator. Let's just plug in 9,000 plus 8. And it said between 10 and 11 years. Let's do 10.5. Okay, and the population, okay, between 10 and 11 years, okay, will be that amount. Okay. Well, it's between 11 and 12 years. Let's see, go back. Let's make that 11.5. Okay, all right, and that is true. Okay, so we can stop right there and we can say the answer is G. Okay. If the coefficient of x squared is changed from 3 to another positive number to create the new function, how will the graph of the new function compare with the original function? So they're telling us that this is the line y equal to 3 x squared, because that is a parabola. We also know the y-intercept is -2, so we can go ahead and put that on there also. That's the equation of that function. Okay, and it says if the coefficient is increased to another positive number, how will the graph of the new one compare with this one? Okay, well, first of all, we know that whenever you take the number, the stretching number, and multiply it, what it does is if the number is a larger whole number, it's going to make it more narrow. If it's a smaller whole number, it's going to make it wider. For example, if it was y equal to half x squared minus 2, you get a real wide graph. Y equal to 4x squared you get that narrow blue graph. Okay? And what happens in this case is the x-intercepts, okay, would be different because it gets narrower or wider. The x-intercepts are going to be in a different place. The vertex will still be the same. Okay? All right. And, okay, C is also correct. Okay, oh, let's see. A is not correct. It says will be the same. No, they'll be different. Okay, and since it's a positive number, okay, the graph will not open downward. You'd have to multiply by a negative number to get that. So C would be the answer. Okay, number 20. For the function W, when x is 9, y is negative 7. When x is negative 7, y is 9. Okay. And so if y is equal to that function, what is the value of y when x equal to negative 7? The answer is 9. Okay. Overdue library books, 25 cents per day with a maximum late fee of $5 per book. Okay, and the late fee for 3 books that were checked out on the same day. Okay, well, first of all, it's 25 cents per day per book. There were 3 books, so it's going to be 75 cents per day. So we're looking for a rate of change of 75 cents. Okay, day 0, they weren't late, so they didn't pay anything. Day 1, 3 books, they already owed 75 cents. It can't be that one because that's $1. Can't be that one, that looks like it's not enough. Can't be that one because 1 day is 50 cents. But look here, 1 day, and you see that dot there, it's not quite on 1. 2 days would be another 75 cents, so it'd be $1.50 for 2 days. Okay, all right, 3 days. Right, and that would be, okay, this one, 4 days, it'd be $3, so D is the answer. Okay, we want to know which inequality is equal to that. They want us to solve for y. We subtract 7x from both sides. Divide by -2. We are dividing by a negative number, so we change the sign, and that's 7 over 2x. Positive 8 divided by -2 is -4, and H is our answer. Number 23. What they're talking about here is a system. They're going to be ordering 216 medium and large t-shirts for field day. Okay, all right, so the total number of t-shirts is 216. Okay, so the number of medium shirts plus the number of large shirts is 216. Okay, and it says the number of medium shirts is 3 times the number of large shirts. So that tells us that M equals to 3L. I want to line it up so it'll fit into a system, so I'm going to subtract 3L from each side. So you have M minus 3L equal to 0. We're going to solve this system. I notice this is positive M, positive M. All we have to do is make one of those a negative M, and it'll cancel with the other one. I'm going to make this one negative, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by -1. So that's negative M minus L equal -216. M minus 3L equal to 0. Cancel, we get -4L equal to -216. Divide by -4. L equal to, and if you do 4 into 216, I think this will be probably a non-calculator question. 4 is 20. Okay, they need to order 54 large t-shirts. Okay, and then if we subtract that from 216, okay, you get 162 medium. Okay, so the number of medium, okay, if you do 54 times 3, okay, all right, that's 162 mediums. They've only ordered 144. So there is a problem, so the answer is no, and it's because the number of medium t-shirts is not 3 times the number of large t-shirts. Okay, the next one. Okay, all right. You'll notice that they've done 2 functions. The rate of change is the same. Okay. What's different is the y-intercept. And the change is they're going to start their descent 500 feet higher than what it was. So F would be the answer. Okay, and we want to know which quadratic equation passes through these points, and which shows the same relationship as H. Okay, just looking at these, first of all, I can tell it can't be C because when X is -4, Y is 32. Okay, they've got that switched around, so it can't be C. All right, let's check D because it looks like to be easy to check. Okay, when X is -4, Y is 32. That's true. Okay, when X is 3, Y is 4. When X is 5, Y is 14. When X is 7, Y is 32. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. I know already D is the answer. Okay, they want us to solve this system. I notice here, an easy way to do this, if that was a +3, that was a -3, we could cancel the y's. So I'm going to multiply this bottom equation by 3. Leave the top equation alone. Three times 3x is 9x. 3 times -y is -3y equal to 12. These cancel. And 6 plus 9 is 15x. Okay, and that's equal to 25. Divide both sides by 15. That can be reduced. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So the answer is 5/3, which is G. Okay, they want the 0. Remember, 0 is the same thing as x-intercept. And so the x-intercept here is 1. So the x-intercept, or the 0, is 1. A 0 just means where the function equals to 0. And a function is always equal to 0 at the point where it crosses the y-axis, because anywhere along here, when y is equal to 0, okay, you're at the 0 of the function. So wherever that line crosses the y-axis, that's the x-intercept, that's the 0. Okay, let's look at this one. they have this function graph below. Okay, what are the values of x, okay, when that's equal to -4? It's a little bit different problem, okay? What we need to do is they've given us y. Let's also go ahead and graph y equal -4. And if you forget how to graph that, that means y is stuck at -4. You can choose any numbers you want to for x. So you have 1, -4, 2, -4, 3, -4. So this is y equal -4. And you have 1 when x is 1, and also x is -2. Is where the parabola that they gave us was equal to the line y equal -4. There's another way you could do this also. I want to show you that you might relate to easier. We want to solve this equation. We can add 4 to both sides. We know any equation degree 2 or higher, we start out by making it equal to 0.
Jake and Callie, come to the front office, please.
Okay. All right. And we think what multiplies to give us -2 adds to give us +1. That would be -2 plus 1 equal to 0. We know from the zero product factor property that, okay, this is going to be x plus 2, x minus 1, sorry about that. Okay, we know from the zero product factor property that x would be equal to -2 here, and it would be equal to +1 there. So you could also get the answer that way. Okay, number 29.
Callie and Jake, come to the front office, please. Callie, green, Jake, Ford, front office.
Okay, let's see. All right, so store manager begins a shift. She keeps $200 in a safe, and she distributes the rest equally to 5 cashiers. What does X represent? Okay. All right, this is the manager doing this, okay, and she's giving this to 5 people. Okay, so X represents, okay, the amount of money that the manager started with. Okay, she kept $200, and then she divided the rest of it among 5 people. Okay, so A would be the answer. Okay, number 30. What is the equation, the standard form of a line that passes through this point and has that slope? They want us to find the equation of the line. We are looking for y equal to mx plus b. They just told us that m was -0.6. The next thing we need to do is we need to find b. Well, they give us an x and a y value. We plug those in. So that would give us 24 equal to -0.6 plus b. We add 0.6, and we get b equal to 24.6. Okay, but we know standard form is ax plus by equal to c, where a, b, and c are integers, and x and y are on the same side. So we're going to have to get that form. We're starting out with -0.6x plus 24.6. First of all, if we multiply both sides by 10, that will move those decimals over 1 place each. and get rid of the decimals. Now we need to put all the x's and y's on one side. And I don't see those choices, but it looks what they did is looks like they divided both sides by 2. 6x divided by 2 is 3x plus 5y. 246 divided by 2 is 123. So your answer would be H. Okay, and last problem in tonight's homework. Okay, which of these pairs is in the solution for this line? First of all, I'm going to rewrite this line with the slope first and the y-intercept second. So the y-intercept is 1. Your rate of change is -6. So that means that you would go down 6 to the right 1. Okay, and I'm going to draw a line to connect all that. Okay, and I am going to draw a dashed line. Why am I drawing a dashed line instead of a solid line? Okay, you're correct. It's because we don't have the equal to there. And since it's less than, we need to shade. Okay, and the way that you would shade here is you would shade down. So what you're going to do is everywhere you'll be shading down. So the solution would be all in this area here. Okay, and let's see which is in the solution region now. 1, 0 is not in the solution. That's above the line. 1, -1 doesn't look like it's going to be a solution. Okay, 0, 1. Okay, looks like it's right on it, and we need less than that. -1, 1 right there. Look, that is in that solution, because if you shade it down, you would hit it. So D would be the answer. Okay, that concludes our homework for tonight. Thank you so much for working on your EOC exam. We've only got a few more days. Please be patient. Please keep working hard. Please keep your goals and your future in mind and do a great job on working on this exam. Thank you once again for watching. Bye-bye.